Dang, man. If you're not tapped in with the tip, then I don't know what to tell you.
Pause.
Monetize.
Oh, God, that was crazy.
But
First of all, we're not gonna start off like that right at all. We gonna kill that right now. We gonna kill all that right now. Hey now. Hey
One,
now.
2, 3 way.
Hey now. Hey, welcome
Yes,
back
sir.
to the 2.5 LLCs podcast. I'm your host, Retro Dre, aka Dre, and I'm Dolo tonight. However, though, because I'm Dolo, I brought two guests with me from the last show. We got Antwon over here to my left, aka your right, and to my right, aka your left, we have Dev Cooks, aka Devin. Say hello to the people, sir.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
All right.
How y'all doing tonight? 1, 2, 3 way.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Watch the last one, they know what I'm talking about.
yeah. Anyway.
So how do you guys get down on the show? What do we talk about? What is the general vibe?
Well, before we get into exactly what we're going to talk about, we have to address, me and Antwon got to address a few things that we talked about last episode. So I'm
After you.
going to let him go first.
After you.
So,
All right, so do I like my women hard? Is the question that I have to answer
Okay.
today, or whenever you're listening. You know who you are. You know who you are. But to answer that question, no, I don't. But at times it's acceptable, but just as an overall, I guess, personality and way of living, no, I don't.
So are we talking hard like
We're talking,
young MA hard? Like
yes,
she'll drink you under the table?
Nah,
Split
not
up.
necessarily that. Just the thug life hard.
Okay.
More so like that. So
you like them soft?
yeah, I mean,
Dainty.
you want an affectionate woman. You don't want to, like you having a bad day. You don't want a woman to come in like, yo, man, what's your problem? Like you don't want that. I mean, you kind of want her to,
I know exactly what you mean. Though.
So yeah, no, I don't want a woman hard. I want her affectionate, but depending on the situation, I want her to be able to go there, but I want her to be able to come back as well. To answer that question, to clear that up. All right, so
because to add to that, I don't think anybody, unless that's what you like, then to each his own, wants their woman to be like, yo, I'm gonna punch you in the stomach every day to see how good your gut check is. Like, yo, what?
Yeah.
Don't nobody want that.
yeah,
Don't nobody want a woman that's gonna say, hey, yo, what's good, bro? Don't nobody want that.
Yeah.
Nobody want that.
yeah,
Yeah, be weaker than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. But I get that. I don't think that just would not be comforting. Like you
Yes.
said, you come home after a hard day and she's like, "Chin up, boy."
yeah. Like,
Sorry.
nah, I'm good.
Well, I have to go back to the producers and artists conversation that was had last week, just to clarify a few things.
Producer and artist.
Yeah, the producer, artists, and who's a more important producer or artist. Let me just be clear on my statements. I stand by all my statements. However, people may have not heard the whole thing, because they may not know this podcast even exists. Because on my Instagram, my personal Instagram, I said artists will always be more important than the producer. And
I chimed in.
yeah, and somebody else did too.
Mm.
And it seemed to be, I don't know. Only reason I don't know if this person was upset or not, because when people type in all caps on the internet, I get confused.
Yeah, so
Are they
just screaming at you.
Are they passionate,
They can be
or are
excited.
they angry? I'm confused. I'm not trying my hardest not to seem like I'm taking a shot, but it might seem that way. Oh well, not my purpose here. I do want to say, producers can make money doing stuff like sync licensing, pitching it for commercials, movies, and all that. I encourage that. Do it. And go ahead, keep doing it, keep that up. I recommend it because there's a lot other ways to make money besides making beats for artists. I understand. And I never say artists are the easiest to work with at times because that's one of the things I do. I work with artists, so at times artists can be picky, finicky over certain things. But as far as just for that purpose alone, instrumentals and producers are like a help me for the artist in a relationship. Nobody, let me not say nobody, people may not know a track if it's just, they just hear instrumental. Now, if they hear the instrumental with the artist attached to it, people are going to want to hear the artist. People are going to recognize it for the artist. And then if the instrumental is very high and they do more work for that artist or more later, then the recognition will get recognized over time.
I agree, but I think too it's a little different. Just because when you get on YouTube, you see, NBA YoungBoy type beats, and I think the reason why you see NBA YoungBoy type beats are because the producer that he's worked with has crafted a sound that's like NBA YoungBoy. You listen to NBA YoungBoy. So I think the producer actually, I'm not gonna say created NBA YoungBoy, because obviously he's an army by himself, but I think the producer has found a sound that fits his style. So like, if you hear lyrics from NBA YoungBoy, if I rapped them, you wouldn't know it's probably NBA YoungBoy. But if I made a beat that was similar to NBA YoungBoy, people would say that's the NBA YoungBoy type beat.
That's true.
So that's why I think producers are actually the ones who create. They're actually the ones who they bring it together more than I think the artists realize.
But without the artist, the art of the producer would not be, as known. At least that's
without the artist.
Yeah.
Again, though, like I said, if you rap NBA YoungBoy, if you freestyled his lyrics right now, or you say you had his rhyme book if he has one, and you rapped it right now, we wouldn't know that that's NBA YoungBoy you're rapping.
That's true.
But if you made a beat that was NBA YoungBoy type, people would understand that that's the NBA YoungBoy type beat because the producer has helped. Who?
Yeah.
Would know it's the NBA YoungBoy type beat. A NBA YoungBoy fan. Put a beat up.
No, but you said people. So if we're gonna say people, we gotta get it out this grand scheme of people who just know NBA YoungBoy.
People who know NBA YoungBoy. So, but that's just like lyric. Like, I think the producer, if they're not more important than the artist, which you can't say more important because the face of something is always. It's just like who's more important, the actors or the cameraman. It's kind of like we don't care about the cameraman, but we want to see the actors. Yeah. But we don't see the actors unless they're a cameraman. So it's like we don't care who films it. We don't care who produced it. We want the artist. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, I can understand why somebody would say the artist or the actor is more important. But it's almost like the producer and the light technicians, and I think they deserve just as much. But I don't know.
Is there an artist that you know of that is only recognized for their beat selection and not their,
that's recognized for only their beat selection? I would have to. I wouldn't say only, but if I had to guess, I would say Future. Okay. He did say, if Metro don't trust you, he'll shoot you. So
I wouldn't say that though. I wouldn't say just because.
I wouldn't say. No. He's an army by himself too. Yeah. But I'm saying, if I had to say an artist and producer that come to mind that I would say, I definitely would say just because of that one phrase, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. He said that, so it's like,
that's more of an indicator for Metro when
to let
you
Metro's on
know
that track.
that Metro produced it. So if you're saying in that aspect, I get you. But as far as who's more important, artist or producer, I'm just saying it from the standpoint of the artist is the one who's going to shine the brightest, whether good, bad, in between.
That's all. All right. So who's a better rapper, Drake or his ghostwriter?
Now we're switching. I understand what you're saying now
Because
this
we're
is
talking
the
about
point.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This is the point where I brought up on a clip I put out that I say when you want to get into that, that's a whole different conversation. I understand when you bring up that aspect. We're just talking about artists and production for these songs. The artist is going to shine because the voice is an instrument as well. People do things with their voice that makes them more recognized than even though if their lyrics are trash or the beat slaps or whatever. People recognize Young Thug for his vocal inflections when he first was out.
Yeet.
Same for Yeet, basically Young Thug, Migos, Future Baby, pretty
again,
much.
I will always say with this argument, because I mean, I think it's 50-50. I don't really think neither is more important necessarily, but I think we should all agree that it's 50-50, like minimum. But I mean, when we go home or working out or whatever you're doing, you're not listening to like freestyle, like a cappella. You're listening to a full production, a product. Production equals a product. And I think that's what a music producer does. Is give you a product.
And you define a music producer as not just the one who's making the beat, right?
No, not
Okay.
just making the beat.
Okay,
A beat maker and a producer
okay,
are
got
different.
you.
That's why I
Got you.
said I think they're more important because again, they're putting people in place. It's like it's almost like they're like I don't know, like a coach or something. They're putting this is the engineer's job, this is the beat maker's job, this is what he want the art. I feel like he's more important because if not, I feel like roles would clash and things wouldn't get done. So that's why I think the producer is just as important. I think the only reason why it's really even an argument and why people think the artist is more important is because you have a lot of recording bundles you do at home. So people have forgot that because everybody now is their own artist, they're their own engineer, they're their own producer. So they feel like they're more important. They put the artist before the producer. But I think it's only because of recording at home.
Okay.
That's where I
Okay.
think that's where they lost the importance at.
All right, we're gonna go off that. However, let me go back to my point in all this. I never said, just to clarify, I never said a producer wasn't important at all. Just for anybody who may be listening, may take that out of context. Everybody has a role, and if you're looking at it from producer, just producer only beat maker, fine. However, in the grand scheme of producer and artists, in my opinion anyway, it's gonna be more important. Just because of where the artist is gonna take everybody once it goes off. Now it doesn't always go off, and the producer, you right, is put in the aspect of producing, not just making a beat or not even having to make a beat, hiring a beat maker. That's when very important part of the process is that's building the pieces to take it to the next level. And then when you get to the label funding and all that, that even goes more into it. Just saying all that when it gets back to the artist, the star. Not saying they can't be bitchy assholes because it happens. However, once they're successful and they put a return on the investment that everybody's put in, that's what's gonna he or she is gonna be the most recognizable and the most important to that process. Not saying nobody else is important at all. Just in my opinion, the artist is gonna bring that the highest as he or she can go.
Well, I feel like if you get a really, really good producer, like Dr. Dre, for example, Snoop Dogg's first album.
Now, quality of producers, that's a whole different conversation
Yeah,
as
it
well.
is. Yeah, I was about to say.
That's what I was like. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, because you have one of Snoop's most recognizable pieces of work was executively produced by Dr. Dre.
Or if you got on a Dr. Dre beat, they're gonna say Dr. Dre produced this. Devin rapped on it. They're not gonna say that's Devin's song. They're gonna say that's Dr. Dre made that song. That's what it's gonna be known for, Dr. Dre. Because in that case, it's because of who he is.
Timbaland was
But
another one.
If he make a beat and he send it to Jay-Z, they weren't necessarily thinking Timbaland. They know he made it, but they were still saying this is Jay-Z's song. Jay-Z's still the face of that product.
True.
So
I don't know. I feel like it just takes a very, very special producer to stand out.
there's only about, I don't know, there's not many. That I think the producer trumps the artist. There's not many, but from where I'm sitting, I'm saying it's 50-50 or the argument has to be invalid or it's foul. That's just me. 'Cause I mean,
I think there's just a lot of different types of situations, but I don't know. I guess in most situations, it probably is the artist because people who are producers, like you said, they're mostly just beat makers.
I feel like even engineers, I'm not gonna say are more important than artists, but I feel like they're probably the most overlooked in the whole process.
Definitely unsung heroes for sure.
They're the most overlooked in the whole process. I think beat makers obviously get more love than actually engineers. But if you ever recorded before, if you ever recorded anybody before, I think engineers probably have the hardest part of the job. I mean, because a beat maker, he can make that in his room like unbothered, just send it off. But the engineer has
Not
to
even mixed.
Yeah, not nothing.
Mastered.
Make that shit in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, but the engineer actually has to make it all come together and make sense.
Yeah.
And then on top of revision after revision after revision. But that's the
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit more of a science to it for most people who are, sound engineering. Because then you have, there's people who are artists and they utilize a lot of music theory. But, if you're a sound engineer and you're doing a good job, you have to do it in at least a proper way. Like, I know that there's a lot of rule bending when it comes to mixing and stuff, but, there's a general idea of what you want to do.
As long as it sounds good, it don't matter.
Sound leveling. That's pretty much.
As long as it sounds
That's
good,
90% of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It can be low, it can be medium, it can be high. As long as it sounds good, it's not distorting. It's fine.
Are you good?
If it sounds too low, turn your speakers or your headphones up. If it sounds too low, then you might have to redo something, possibly. Unless you wanted to sound that low for a reason. Because some engineers like to do stuff like that just to be, that's their thing. Or maybe the artist wants to concept a project of, well, it's not. Because I even hear J. Cole in some of his old interviews or some of his engineers talk about how he didn't always turn his tracks all the way up. I don't know if he still does that now. But at the time, before around the Forest Hill Drive era, I heard that he doesn't put his tracks up past that lux level.
Why? Is that, because I've seen a lot of things, specifically on TikTok, like, the producer community is huge on there, and a lot of people have said the same thing that you just said, like, as long as it sounds good, it can be as loud as, as you want it, like, on the program. Like, it may not look proper, but if it sounds good, then it's okay.
Because of the loudness wars that started to happen after a certain point. Because when you hear old songs, some of them sound great, but some of them sound real low, and some are mixed bad and such. Because at the time, the equipment and the engineers didn't know or didn't have process. And at the time, the loudness level wasn't high because their ears were different. The tuning was even different at that time.
Everything is mixed like much brighter now.
Yeah, that's true. A lot more clarity.
It's much brighter.
But there's a few albums that, like, they use as benchmarks as like a Steely Dan album I know of. I don't know if you know the band Steely Dan. They're back in like the 70s. And then there's like what's another good one? Oh, Daft Punk has another like perfectly mixed album, or mastered, I guess you could say. To where just like even though it was made in the 80s or 90s, it still sounds good by today's standards.
Even listening to the Chronic and Doggy Style, they still sound good.
I would agree.
So as long as you know what you're doing and you found your style, you're gonna be alright as an engineer, producer, artist. It just takes time, just like anything else. It takes a long time. I started out rapping, and for about a year ago, is when I started all the way put it together. I still got way more to go. And producing, I started producing like about a year after that. Actually knowing how to produce, and it took a while. It took about 3-4 years almost. So it's gonna take time to perfect and get at least good and manageable sell stuff at whatever you do. So it is going to be a struggle. So before you end up starting your business, and if you have to get that other job, get that main job, and let this what you really love to do be that side hustle until you make it your main thing. Or if you want to jump off the cliff and say, forget it, I'm gonna go straight into it. All right, just dive into it head first and have a plan to know what you're doing. You're gonna have your ups and downs in betweens, but as long as you stick with it, you're gonna be all right.
Have you guys talked about franchises on this show before?
Franchises such as what aspect?
Like Chick-fil-A type shit.
Not really.
No?
What's up?
Well, just because I was talking about it with somebody the other day, just talking about how franchises seem like a really easy investment. Just because you start talking about businesses in a sense, but it just got me
I'd
thinking.
rather say do stock first before you even get into investing straight into a franchise, in my opinion.
Well, because my thinking on it was if you get the loan, you open a franchise where maybe a location is needed, or there's like 1 or 2 locations.
You gotta know your markets though.
Yeah.
I would say you want to get before you get into doing anything fresh or new, you have to learn about the industry. You have to. That's the main first thing, and especially the business. Because that's going to be the most important thing people are going to use against you to get you in good or bad deals. And business, you see all the time. They usually never talk positive about business. I wonder why.
I'm just like, obviously there's so many ways of making money, but I understand that you have to take a risk, in any situation. And I think actually you had told me something along those lines when we first, all gathered together as interns here at AMI. And I definitely utilized some of that advice. I think I've invested a little bit into myself, and I think it has paid off in a sense. So
it's about making the right investments as well. And it's not always about money. It's not always about money when you're talking about investing. Time is the most important investment of your life. Time. It's not money. It's not assets. It is time. Everything else is second. Because that's something you never get back. You can get an asset back. You can get money back. But you can never get time back. These seconds I just said, I can't get those back. The day we just had, I can't get it back. You can't get it back.
Thanks.
The day if you lost somebody in your family, you want to spend time with them, you can't get that time back. No matter how you want to twist the turn, you can't. All you could do is think in your head about how the good times you had, or maybe look at a picture or a video. That's it.
And keep it moving.
But you cannot take that time back. So the goal in life, at least just from my perspective anyway, is to do the best you can with the time you have until you don't have it anymore. And that's all you can ask for. You don't worry about anybody else or what else is going on. I mean, you look at it because you just need to know what's going on around you, and if you need to do certain things to get in and out of certain situations and certain industries and make more of a financial greatness on your part, or more opportunities in this lane or that lane.
Would you guys say that you spend enough time doing things that make you happy?
No. You spend enough time doing, well, for me, what's necessary. Happy and necessary are 2 different things in life for me right now. necessary, pays the bills. Happy, it's just another. It's like a bonus right now. So, no.
Happiness, though, is temporary, just like everything else. People love to say happiness is a thing that is forever lasting. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an emotion. It's a feeling. It's temporary, just like
Yeah.
most other things in this life.
Nothing is forever. If you really think about it.
Not even this planet. Yeah. Even though like we can't maybe imagine or like visualize what billions of years passing by is like, you know. In billions of years, I'm sure that all this won't be here.
Yeah, nothing is forever. So.
Like I said, what Childish Gambino say? Life is the biggest troll. Jugs on us.
Shit. He was on his Sage shit on his last album. Was it 3/15/21?
Man, I don't know what that was.
Bro, that was crazy. That was a good ass album.
I'm not saying it was a bad album, but it was weird to do.
I think he.
Only reason I say I'm just saying since we just came off a business discussion from a business perspective, it was weird to do. You come off doing "Awaken My Love," one of his. It's probably gonna be a damn near art piece by the time goes on. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then he just comes out and does this album with no rollout, post it one day, take it down, and it's just there. No track names.
Nope.
Just
No album
dates,
cover.
numbers.
I like that though. I feel like that. I mean, I don't know if it may be.
What did it do? Does anybody still talk about it? Does anybody care?
I mean, at least from my own personal perspective, I have a few friends that we definitely have a couple memories like to a couple of his songs off that album. But I mean, like as an artist, I don't think it did anything for him, like other than just please his fans.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But I don't know. I don't even know what Childish Gambino wants at this point because he, he's a musician, he's an actor, comedian, probably a bunch of other shit. You know, I mean, maybe he's just making music that is fun for him because it's vastly different than his early stuff like Camp.
Because of the internet.
Because of the internet, that's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah, the royalty mixtape.
Like all that shit. It's like he's just a completely different person. So either he got tired of it, or just as a creative, he needed something else. You know?
All right, I'll give you that. Because a lot of times in an artist's career, they may be pigeonholed to a sound or an idea of what they should put out. And that, for some people, it does put them in a box. For example, I'm going to bring the basketball right quick. Look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson can't be a grown man because of the image he had as a basketball player. He has to look like and wear the same clothes he was wearing back in the 2000s just because that's his persona.
Does he still do it?
For the most part, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And that's the bad thing about sticking to a persona so much that you can't grow out of it and evolve. Even though you're getting older. It's the same as the clout rappers. After a certain point, your audience grows up. They evolve. They get interested in different things. Are you attending to those needs as well as an artist to your fans?
See, I feel like you might want to take another listen to that album because even in that song he did with Ariana Grande on that album, it was about time, and obviously like time is a topic that's been talked about by so many people, but the way that Childish Gambino did it, I thought was really cool. And he incorporated, like he started off the album with the concept of time, and then the rest of the album was just time, like, timestamps. And like the ideas that he was putting forth on the album is like, does everything, really mean what we have believed it to mean? Like, and I just think it took a really interesting perspective on a lot of things in life. Just it was a solid album to me, at least in the way that I listened to it.
Fair enough. I might give it a re-listen. I might not. Be honest with you. It's a lot of music I don't care about nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm keeping honest with you.
Which is fair.
I'm keeping honest, because I know Because I know this is my job to listen to music just to hear what's out there, what's going on. But I looked at these past releases and it's been sounding very uninspiring. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Kodak's new joint was straight, but I wasn't messing with it all that crazy. I heard the first song on the Baby and Young Boys album. I'm like, I'm good on this. I'll come back to it later. I didn't even listen to the whole joint. I just heard the intro and when I heard the beat, I was like, I don't want to listen to this.
What do you listen to for enjoyment? Like nowadays?
Man, I've been going back and listening to older music, albums I was listening to back in high school, college. I've been listening to the Memory Lane albums pretty much, I'll say. I was listening to Side of Prince last week, No Church on Sundays.
Yes, sir. That's a fire. Is that mixtape or
album? That's the only album he's probably going to ever have. Went back and listened to some of Big Sean's older stuff. Just because back in high school, I was listening to Sean heavy because that was a mixtape era. Listen to that, listen to a little bit of Wiz, listen to Kanye's older stuff, going back to Jay-Z's discography a little bit.
That's not bad. Okay, I get
Same here. Probably I would add to that. What was 50's album? I forgot. It was Get Rich or Die Trying. All of Lil Wayne older mixtapes. I don't really today. I mean, I listen to it, but they're not saying anything. They're all saying the same thing. And I think plus once for me, I was telling someone earlier. For me, once you start recording music and listening to music, you listen to it. You don't want to ride home and listen to it.
Ooh,
so I might record trap, but I might go home listening to R&B because I've tolerated enough screaming for the day. So I like to switch it up because I don't want to listen to that because we've all recorded a song before. You have to realize when you record, not us, but when you record, you're listening to maybe one or two verses that they have to record over and over and over, and it's tiresome. You don't want to listen to that type of music going home, or if you have 2 or 3 sessions. I mean, you probably have more sessions during the week or whatever. You don't want to just listen to that. It's almost like that one type of music gets played out pretty fast.
I listen to a shit ton of jazz just because it's like the most. It's interesting because it's always different, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've been wanting to work with a female artist, like a vocalist, for the longest time. Just because I think
gonna be a lot of tuning. Depending on who, but it's gonna be tuning.
That's fine.
Okay,
but like I said, it's just. I mean, I think I'm all trapped out.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you're trap fatigue.
Yeah, like I think I'm all trapped out. I'm just all trapped out, man. Like just all. If you have a session or you're recording, that's what you're going to get. You get the occasional. What do they call it? Drill. You get a little bit of that every now and then, but it's going to be one of those two is what you're going to get. So, it's tiresome.
I feel that. I mean, I don't know, maybe because like I didn't really get into trap like this before. I'd say like the back half of last year. I mean, like prior to that, like I'd listened to trap just what was popular, but only recently have I really delved into it and been like, oh shit, like this is a fucking awesome genre of music. Because prior to that, I was only listening to just boom bap, Mad Lib, Alchemist, MF Doom, like nothing with an 808.
Bring the mic closer to yourself, sorry.
My bad. Yeah, nothing with an 808, and I don't know. I love that shit now, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get to that point. I might get trap fatigue too.
The thing is, I believe as a whole, people are fatigued of trap, personally. It's a time and place for everything, of course, but I think people as a whole are dying for something new.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the mainstream things it goes, now obviously we all have the stuff we like to listen to, but I believe because I remember about a couple months ago, it was a stat that came out that people listen to older music now more than ever, and I
Who
believe
could blame them?
and I believe that's because one, the crowd out here now isn't as vast as it was, or intellectual, or just as good in general. I'm not even gonna say intellectual because I don't know what their brains are like, so I'm not even gonna say all that. But as far as the quality, even though sonically it's the best it ever sounded, depending on who you listening to anyway, it's just the concept of song making and lyricism isn't coming with it. Not saying they gotta be elite lyricists, double entendres. Not even saying all that. Just making good quality records that are not banging 808s in your ear all day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a time and place for that, because we all got time of the day. We want to just get turned up to some 808s. There's nothing wrong with that. But too much of it is what's probably making people go back and say, hey, what else is out there?
Yeah. I think real instruments are gonna make a comeback, like guitar, drums, bass. But like,
I mean, they
obviously-
already have incrementally.
Yeah, that's true. Like the what's that band that Anderson .Paak always plays with? Free Nationals.
Oh,
Yeah, like they're dope, man. Out of California.
Well,
and-
auto tune. I'm not gonna say go away, but
No.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
At this point, it can't. Because it's so much has happened. So many vocals rely on auto tune. So many.
Yeah.
It's not even just people who can sing that have
Think
to rely
about-
on auto tune.
The reason why I asked is because think about your top 5 hip hop artists right now. How much auto tune do they use?
Everybody saying.
So
Everybody saying the baby.
Your favorite rapper, you probably, I'm not gonna say wouldn't recognize them, but you may not like them as much as you think you like them
without the auto tune.
without the auto tune.
Hey, if Drake doesn't use auto tune anymore, y'all gonna be hurt. Some of y'all gonna be.
If he let it go,
I heard him try to sing live a few times. It's not the greatest.
yeah. So I think auto tune is probably here to stay, and I think it's getting even more. It's actually getting more. It's probably overused, if anything, but I don't think it's going anywhere. As far as like real instruments, I think it's coming back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely coming back.
Because people are getting tired of the program drums all day. It's more of a sound that people want the natural feeling again. They want more of the groove. It's not a lot of groove out there.
They want timeless music back.
That's gonna be hard because you gotta have timeless artists.
Yeah.
What about Thundercat? Man, blazes on the bass.
Thundercat is just one person, and you barely hear him. He doesn't even like doing vocals.
Yeah, that's true. His vocals are kind of.
We need timeless vocalists. Not even when I say vocals, I don't mean just R&B. I mean in general, people who use vocals on tracks. We need timeless vocals. You don't even hear good white music anymore. You don't.
Yeah, what happened to-
Because music is becoming one genre of music. There isn't really
Everybody's trap.
everybody's trap.
These same drums,
Mhm.
same
So
arrangements, just different
Hyper
instruments.
pop.
that's another reason
K-pop.
why you said a lot of people listen to older music now because everything is the same. You can play anything from any artist at almost any function now because it all sounds the same. So
Now, I brought up this question a while back. I want to get y'all inputs because y'all may be different. How far is Kendrick's music gonna go?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Because I heard that Kendrick technically might not have a classic album.
What? Who said that? And why?
But however, here's kind of a lens I want to put it through. When you're at the cookout, what music you throwing on?
Me.
If you have cookouts, I know everybody don't have cookouts. But if you're at a function or a party,
Right.
or a family event and you got all types of ages around, what music you gonna put on?
You're putting on a feel good like up tempo
Yeah, my family we listen to reggae.
reggae.
Yeah, that's
However, in the hip hop lane, Nothing the G thing might come on.
Mm.
Gin and Juice might come on.
True.
R. Kelly.
And everybody's gonna know the words to all three of those songs. Step in the Name of Love might creep in there, and everybody's gonna know mostly all the words to those songs. Why is that?
Radio hits.
It ain't even just radio.
Why do people know the lyrics to those songs?
Yeah, why are those songs stretched out over time more than some others, do you think?
The groove to it, probably.
What
I mean,
the
singability.
the topic of conversation? You said gin and juice.
Said Gin and Juice, nothing.
At a
Nothing
cookout,
but G thing.
there's gin and juice.
Step in the Name of Love.
Step in the Name of Love is like
Summertime.
once you've had a few drinks, or that one family big dance that the family does, or something like that. It's a feel good, it's a vibe type thing. So I think the topic of conversation is what makes it playable at cookouts.
Even the Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. That creeps in there.
Yeah, I think it's a feel good. Like I can't Dougie, but I mean it's a feel good. Like you
Hold that right there.
It's all about the vibe.
How many songs do they actually make you feel good? Make people feel good?
I wouldn't say feel good as in like sense of like this euphoria or something coming over your body, but
No, of course not. Yeah.
in a sense of like, because think about it, trap music is usually dark. It's like a dark vibe. You're not gonna play that at a family event. You're happy to see people. So
I'm glad you said that. Now, reflect on the times we in over the past handful of years. That's why. That may be a reason why trap's been dominating the charts and the landscape so much, because not a lot of people globally are feeling happy, uplifted. They're not feeling well.
for sure. I mean, because everything now is about getting as
Fucked
up and drugged out as your body can handle. That's what it's about. It's about being depressed. I mean, to the point where they have like this melodic trap where it's like you're whining the entire time. It sounds like a cry for help.
Pain music.
Yeah. So that's why feel good music is like, it's an odd thing for people to listen to. It's not even cool to listen to it. Like, people wouldn't pull up listening to like Step in the Name of Love, like, unless.
Well, we got Alright from Kendrick. We gonna be alright.
I mean, but I think the reason why Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole,
Drake.
I think they. No.
Not
I
even
just
Drake? Okay.
no. I'm saying I think the reason why those two artists. I always said those two artists, as much as people do like them, I do still feel like they're underappreciated.
Explain.
Explain why?
Mhm.
Because hip hop now, what we're talking about, like dark, just the way music is now. Like the top 10 songs probably for the Billboards right now probably all sound alike in a certain way, and I don't think Kendrick and J. Cole follow that trend. They're different. So as much as you may like them lyric wise, they're all too. That's how you refer to them when you talk about them. Like, yeah, I know they can rap, but that's what it's about. It's about them rapping. It's about being lyrical, but people will prefer to listen to, I don't know, other artists before they listen to Kendrick Lamar.
I will say this as well, though. They're not always in people's faces either.
Yeah.
And nowadays,
I don't think hip hop was designed to be that way. It's just
I don't know.
to be in people's faces.
I don't know. Because, yeah, think about it. Hip hop origin talking about the struggle, but partying and feeling good at the same time. It was I would say, from the first ever hip hop record that dropped, or the first few anyway, the message. It was talking about what was going on in that area that he was living in.
Yeah.
Talking about the struggle.
But in your face though, isn't that more so like a more recent thing? That's why I feel like
No.
artists. I feel
You got
like
Mobb Deep, man. They were.
Hold on.
I feel like that's why
That might have
today.
been where gangster rap comes into play at.
I feel like that's why today's artists aren't like, or they die out faster than previous artists, because it's a such thing as like doing too much.
All right, I get you. Yeah,
It's a
I
such
get
thing
you.
as doing too much. Like the baby, is good as a rapper as he may be, he's in your face right now because he's constantly in the news and he's doing music too, and it's good music. But it's just like after a while, people are gonna just be like, man, he's always into something, or I'm just tired of. Or it's kind of like it could be like you may put too much music out where people just kind of be like they're just tired of hearing it, so you can like oversaturate yourself or something. Like too much music is not, or a lot of music is not always a good thing. So
If it's quality, it's fine. But when people tend to put a lot of music, a lot of filler and BS starts to come out after the fact. That's where it goes bad at. It's not that you can't put out a lot of music. It's just people that put out a lot of music, it doesn't always end up being a lot of good music. That's where the fall off happens.
So you, as far as Lil Wayne was during his era, we all know when that was.
That's why I say he has a lot of filler.
That's why he was doing Sorry for the Wait, because we wanted more, but I think he knew that he couldn't just drop it month after month after. He could have. I'm pretty sure he had stuff from that era that he probably never released. But he knows strategically he can't drop a mixtape every month.
And when he started to do stuff like that, that's when people said he fell off.
Yeah. And remember, the anticipation for Carter 5 was so high from
For
waiting for
years,
5
bro.
years. That's why it did as good as it did, I think. But when people listened to it, they said it wasn't that good because of the anticipation waiting for it.
And
But
there's a lot of old songs on there.
yeah,
too.
I think, and that's another reason why I think people didn't like it, because 5 years ago, or at that time, music had changed so much from how it was then till now, where it didn't sound right.
Yeah.
They would have loved Mona Lisa back in 2013.
Yeah, because that's the type of songs he was doing. But
That shit
I
was
think,
still a hit though.
yeah, it was still good.
But you can literally hear sonically that was made around 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think once he just missed that era that he was in. I mean, he still did good numbers wise, I think, but I think the average person would probably tell you Mona Lisa,
Mona
probably
Lisa probably
dedication,
was
Mona Lisa, dedication, and maybe like 2 other songs on there. Let It All Work Out, and maybe like 2 more out of like
Don't Cry.
Don't
If
Cry.
X is Still Alive.
Yeah, but that was, I think people like that song was because of him. Honestly, I don't really think it was because of Wayne.
Fair.
I think that was because of him.
That's fair.
But outside of that, you wouldn't agree. You would agree that that's probably, depending on what you think of Carter 1, that probably was Lil Wayne's probably, I would hate to say worst album. I would say least liked album.
He was still developing when he was put out a Carter one. That's why.
Yeah, that's why I say that's the only reason why you would compare Carter 5 to Carter 1, because you wouldn't compare Carter 5 to nothing else. You would compare Carter 1 to 2 through 4. Even though 4
People sleep on 4.
was
4 was
good,
fire.
but it wasn't 3, and 3 wasn't 2. They were all different. I feel like
3 was
2,
a 2 in your opinion.
3 wasn't 2.
In your opinion.
Song for song, Carter 2 is better than Carter 3.
In your opinion. That's what I said. Because I don't know. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that statement. I don't know.
You can't tell
But
me.
I'm saying the masses gonna say Carter 3 is his best one.
Nah, it's no way you're gonna tell me Mrs. Officer is a top 5 song.
I never said that. A lot of people might though, but
I mean, it was cool, but
I'm not
I
gonna
think
say
when
that.
you go song for song, you got Hustler Music, Best Rapper Alive. When you have those songs,
Top
was
of my
it
hands.
Tie My Hand? It was 3.
Nah, that's Carter 3.
See, what's
Nah,
the other
Carter
one?
2.
Was it Lock and Loaded? That's another one that I like too. I just think Carter 2 set the stage for Carter 3. I think that's why Carter 3 did so well, because Carter 2 was so good.
He had the mob.
He had the mob, Fly In, Fly Out.
Carter 2, the title track.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think Carter 2 was the album that paved the way for Carter 3. Carter 3, the reason why people say Carter 3 was the best album because it was more commercial songs in there. You had Get Money, A Millie, Mrs. Officer, what was it like? It was like two more. It was like half the album was on the radio. So more
Lollipop.
people. Lollipop. It was now Lollipop probably was the biggest song out of any song he probably ever done. That's why I think that album got the credit that it did. But I definitely think Carter 2 set the stage for Carter 3.
Let me ask you a different question then. Which album had the I ain't gonna say most impact, but which album had the best song out of those two?
Out of those two, the best overall song?
Yeah.
I mean, are you talking numbers or are you talking
Nah,
like
just in your opinion.
best song?
Best song Carter 2 versus Carter 3, who you picking?
Carter 3 was best song from Carter 3. Most people probably say the best song from Carter 3 probably was A Millie. Best song from Carter 2.
Oh man. They don't so people wouldn't put Dr. Carter in there? Mr. Carter? Or Misunderstood?
Alright, so my favorite probably off of Carter 3 probably is Misunderstood. That's probably my favorite, Misunderstood. My favorite off Carter 2, I can't think of the name of it right now.
Let the Beat Build?
Let the Beat. See, all of that is like,
You don't like Let the Beat Build?
I like the third verse on Let the Beat Build.
Okay.
Once the beat changes.
You don't like Dr. Carter?
I don't. I like it. I don't like it as overall as much as Carter 2 though.
Okay.
Carter 2 was more, I feel like that was raw and uncut Wayne. I feel like Carter 3 was more commercial and it's my time Wayne, where he did a lot of things that were more for TV as opposed to for recognition necessarily, if that makes sense.
So he's more hungry on Carter 2.
He was more hungry Carter 2, but I feel like Carter 3 pretty much, I think Carter 3 is what stamped him, which obviously sold him.
Solidified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. It's almost like let me see, you said best song of Carter 2. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But
Did he have a feature on there or just went by himself?
what was the name of it? Hit 'Em Up.
Okay.
Hit 'Em Up on Carter 2. That's the name of it.
That's your favorite song?
That's my favorite song. Probably, I don't know, Carter 2. Hit 'Em Up versus, what did I say? Misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
They two different feels, but I think Hit 'Em Up is probably the best song from those two.
Okay.
Yeah, Hit 'Em Up. That's it.
Do you, to round back to what you had asked earlier, do you think people will be talking like this about Kendrick Lamar in the same way that, Lil Wayne fans talk about Lil Wayne?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
He doesn't have...
Not on the East Coast.
He
Maybe the
doesn't-
West Coast.
He doesn't have the cultural impact that Wayne had.
No, not two and a half.
People today still sound like Lil Wayne.
Hey, we talked about it earlier. I think Lil Wayne is the most influential rapper of all time.
That's a big thing. But I
Yeah.
feel like I could also agree with that because how many people wanted to, like you said, like there's still people trying to rap like Lil Wayne. And all of Kendrick Lamar's
Lil
first,
Wayne has done everything these rappers have done today. And you could arguably say he's the best at it. Some of these artists have little things they can do better than he did, but he did everything that these artists have done today. The auto-tune, the chorus, he was doing with T-Pain, the guitars.
bars.
Down to the way that they look. Dreadlocks and tattoos. Lil Wayne made that popular. I'm not saying nobody else was doing it or had that look, but like I was telling him earlier, I don't know if you remember, before 2008, not too many people had long dreads and tattoos. It was mohawks. It was about waves,
Dancing.
dancing. After the Carter 3 became a big thing and Wayne took off, everybody grew their hair. Everybody had dreads.
I mean, I kind of remember, of course, my perspective, like, around that time I was in elementary / like middle school, in that range. And I do remember, like, my classmates and people I was growing up around, like, they loved Lil Wayne. I remember, like, one kid actually who was, like, trying to be Lil Wayne, literally.
Yeah.
doing the same thing, growing his hair out. Like that's all he would listen to.
People would deny it, but that's why a lot of people have dreads.
Wow.
A lot of
I wouldn't
people
know.
would, because who would say that I got dreads because of Lil Wayne? I honestly think the image that he had, I think it caught a lot of people, and a lot of people felt like they could be that guy. So.
And he came up really young, right? Like around.
Yeah, he
like,
was
Wayne?
like he was
11,
16.
12. Oh, like
Wayne?
When we first
Yeah.
seen him, he was like 16. When he first started running with Cash Money, them that I don't know.
He was like 8.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, he was
I
real
remember
young.
hearing that
He was like 8.
young
I
as
heard.
fuck.
I know a few of his songs when he was actually 8 years old. He was 8 years old. He sound better than the way he was rapping. He sound better than a lot of artists today.
That was when he was still rapping like he was from the South.
Yeah, that's why I said I think Carter 2 is.
Oh, you don't like when he changed his rap style. That's what it is.
I don't like after Carter 3. I mean Carter 4 was straight too.
Because before you go on, I heard somebody else say something similar, that when Wayne changed his rap style, he didn't sound as good as he did before.
I feel like he started to.
Pronounce all his words
He started
correctly.
to be more auto-tunish. He started to try to sound like what was becoming of hip-hop. Whereas he used to say he was hip-hop, I feel like he started to
become the idea.
become the idea.
Interesting.
But he's still the greatest rapper of all time, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to revisit those. I mean, cause like I've listened to all the Carter albums, but I admittedly only did like once or twice. Cause for one, I was never myself a Lil Wayne fan, and even back then when he was popular, I was into a whole different type of music. So
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
I don't even know if I would be.
If you
I was
list
looking
your
at the same
top
way.
5 rappers of all time, and Lil Wayne, where the camera at? If you list your top 5 rappers of all time, am I looking at the camera? And Lil Wayne is not in your top 5, your list is invalid.
Dang.
All right, I'm glad you said that. 'Cause I got to make my
It's
list. the other
absolutely
day.
invalid
Made my list
because
the other day.
Of top 5?
yeah, there's no way you're gonna name 5 rappers better than Lil Wayne.
Okay, yeah.
Tupac, DMX, Andre 3000, Big L, Nas.
No,
No.
DMX is not better than Lil Wayne.
Oh.
Nas is not better than Lil Wayne.
Oh, okay.
What are we talking about? Like when you
All right.
say that,
Why?
like,
Why? Just asking. So why?
because a lot of people say lyric wise, even if you say a rapper is better than Lil Wayne lyric wise, which is a stretch in of itself.
All right. Before you answer that, what's your definition of the greatest rapper of all time?
The overall production impact, and
Nas out of there.
marketability.
That gets Nas out of there. Seems
Yeah,
Facts.
production, impact, and market. I wouldn't say, was it marketability? Would I say that? Image. I think those 3 are the top 3 ways that when you judge an artist.
So no lyrical ability at all is included.
Yeah, I mean, because they're rappers. What are lyrics though? Because I mean, really, when I start looking at rap, I mean, again, like I told you earlier, I'm not a huge Gucci Man fan, but I'd be an idiot to say he's not like a top 12 rapper of all time as far as impact and what he done, records and all that type of stuff. But I don't think there's ever been a rapper as influential, record sales, and the image that Lil Wayne. The only person, which I wasn't a fan of, I guess he's one of the greatest. I didn't listen to him. Probably would be Tupac, because that's what everybody always say. But I wasn't a Tupac fan, so I don't know.
I thought you were about to say Eminem. I already know how you feel about it.
He's new to the podcast.
I already know. No, I already know how he feels. I thought you were about to say that.
Hold on, before you go on, you think Eminem's the greatest of all time?
No, fuck no.
Oh, all right.
But I was just saying he
Just wanna
definitely had a
clarify.
huge impact on like
Who?
Eminem.
On
White people.
On white people. Yeah, on hip hop, it
White,
coming to the
yeah.
mainstream and more people.
Well, exactly, for white people.
Yeah.
He commercialized hip hop.
That's
One of the main components, and you could technically say it started downfall.
But like, what is his image though? Like, what was his image on a scale of 1 to 10? When you think about Eminem, we know his lyrics are top notch.
Yeah.
We're not questioning that. But when you talk about greatest, I think when you talk about image, what was his image though?
Yeah. No, I don't think Eminem.
The
For
rebel
one,
white boy.
Yeah, he.
With
Well,
the
for
blonde
one,
hair.
everybody
That's
wanted
what
to
it
dye their
was.
hair blonde and wear the fucking white
I don't know.
wife beater.
Maybe where I grew up at, I ain't see nobody walking around with that shit in their head. So I don't know.
I didn't like. See, that's the thing though. I didn't either.
It
But-
gave white people into hip hop. Yeah, white people, and he wasn't a gimmick
Well, I
of
guess-
trash like
well, yeah,
everybody else.
I guess you could say that he did.
That's what it was.
He did kind of, I guess, pave the way and open the door.
Yeah, that's what it was used for.
Yeah, well,
He
I
just
guess
happened to be
that
nice
does
as
give
well.
that does give him a few more cool points.
Yeah,
I
he
guess
just happened to be nice as well. The greatest of all time.
Now,
the greatest white rapper of all time.
Yeah, it's
Greatest white rapper, yeah.
It's unquestionable.
But greatest of all time? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, Lil Wayne's the greatest of all time. And I think, depending on, I think Jay-Z's up there too. But
Yes, that's hard to say. I would also agree because I also would say like commercial success has to be a part of that because if like nobody looks at say like I don't know Immortal Technique like he has bars he's really good as a rapper but nobody fucking brings him up in a great rapper conversation. You know.
Fair point.
Cassidy.
See, like that's even. I mean, I recognize the name kind of, but like I couldn't even tell you.
I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. Nigga axe it. Nigga axe it.
Now that song right there, he had some bars in there though.
Oh, for sure. That was
I got the products, narcotics for the customers, homie. Yeah.
That was battle raps. One of battle raps first ends in the hip hop was Cassidy, and then it kind of leveled out a little bit after that. But I guess you can technically say Meek might have carried it on, but he wasn't battle rapping on that scale for a while. But
Meek Mill.
Mm.
Oh, you got an issue with Meek Mill? What's going on?
I don't have an issue with you, Meek. I don't know. I don't think he's a part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably a great guy.
I never said that.
Yeah.
Well, an example.
Probably a great guy. Businessman, a lot of money, but I don't think whatever. But I don't think he's part of this conversation.
I will say early Meek had a lot of bangers, though. I will say that.
I can't agree or disagree. I've never really listened to.
You never. I got you.
But from what I've heard, I wouldn't like the best Meek Mill song to me is actually Tony's Story. Is it Tony's Story?
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
1 and 2. 3 was weird. I didn't really understand that beat and how he put that together on 3. But
Gotcha.
1 and 2 probably had the best beat though. 1 had the best story, 2 had the best beat, and 3 was weird. Even though it was good, but that's what I got from the breakdown. And I don't know if did he ever do Part 4 because he said Part 4 was coming, but he said it was gonna be a movie, so I don't know what he did with that.
I don't think he ever dropped it as a song. He needs to get back to doing stuff like that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean if that was how he was, I probably would listen to Meek, but Tony's Story is definitely, I think, the best Meek I've ever heard.
Because Meek came out in the club party era too.
Mm-hmm.
So he was also making those, but he's also making the club records like House Party, I'm a Boss and such like that. So
Yeah. Better artist, Meek Mill or Rick Ross? Is that a question?
no, Rick Ross every time.
Rick Ross or 50 Cent?
Shit.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross has a better catalog, but I think 50 Cent's a better artist.
I think, yeah. Well, I think 50 has more recognizable songs. I think he has, if you list, again, you do top 10 songs, I think 50, just off Get Rich or Die Trying, I think probably would have like 3. But I think if you're talking longevity and catalog, like you said, I think Ross might get him.
Because Get Rich or Die Trying, plus what he was doing with G-Unit, and the records he does here and there that actually hits.
I don't know, it's probably closer than what people realize, but
DJ Khaled or DJ Mustard?
I'm going with Khaled.
What?
Yeah.
We the best.
Damn.
You can pigeonhole Mustard to a sound.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't like about Mustard. You can pigeonhole him to a sound. That doesn't always translate.
Damn, I was asking that in a joking manner, but surprised me there.
You would take Mustard?
I feel like he has a better catalog. I think DJ Khaled is almost like a parody of music.
A lot of people don't understand what DJ Khaled actually does. Not saying he does a good job of doing that.
Okay, what is it that he does? Is he a producer?
He
in
actually
that way?
He's a producer.
Doesn't always hit, but he's actually a producer.
He's a producer.
So he makes the beats too.
Possibly sometimes, but no. That's not his main thing.
He'll tell you straight up. He did a video about that. He's a producer. He's not just a beat maker. He'll tell you if it's a guitar album, he may interview 2 or 3 people, doing the guitar. He'll choose one. The keyboard, choose a guy to do that. He actually takes it to that extent. That's why he said he's the best. He's going to choose the best. He's not. How many DJ Khaled produced songs have like a unrecognizable name on to begin with?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because I guess I kind of saw.
Does Mustard have a All I Do Is Win?
No.
And that's old, very old.
Wait, I didn't even realize that was DJ Khaled.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Does he have a I'm So Hood? Old.
That was DJ Khaled.
That's
Yes.
DJ Khaled.
Okay, I gotta respect the man a little bit more.
And that's only scratching the surface of his catalog right there.
Yeah, that's all old stuff. Like,
Well,
is that almost like 10 years old?
Yes, that is 10 years
10
old.
years old we talking about. Yeah, Khaled, the man.
Khaled been in the game doing great stuff for a while. People just like to sleep on it because of his latest actions, but
Okay, see, that's where I was at though. Was because
See, he's one of the ones that he started getting in front of the camera and people started to dislike. But you don't realize how much you actually like him because you like the songs he produced.
Mm-hmm.
I always just thought he was a goofy.
Yeah, you say that, but like I'm pretty sure if you listen to 10 songs going home tonight, just random, he's probably damn near on 2 of them.
he was a
Some
part
way
of
was a part of 2 of them.
that Bugatti track that came out.
I
Yeah,
woke up and
Yeah, he was in that. Ace Hood was his artist at that time too.
yeah, he's probably gonna be on at least 2 songs you listen to.
oh, that's crazy. I did not know that. To be honest, I was not giving DJ Khaled.
And he used to actually
respect.
DJ.
Like actually perform.
Yeah, actually scratch DJ. Yeah, he actually used to really DJ. I seen the footage.
I'm sorry, DJ Khaled.
I'm gonna tell you somebody who I think is dope that a lot of people has forgotten about or they know him for one thing is actually T-Pain.
Cause everybody took auto-tune to a whole new level, man. He wasn't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah,
He said
but-
himself.
As a producer and songwriter, T-Pain's dope, man.
Oh yeah.
Even
T-Pain
as
is
a
dope.
singer.
People didn't know he could sing till he did Tiny Desk.
Yup, same. I'm in that.
I'm not saying I wasn't in there, but you have to learn it. Once you know and learn how auto-tune works, it makes sense. You have to know how to at least hold a note or two for it to be used correctly anyway. But at the same time, you kind of can't sing and it'll be able to do what you want to do if you crank everything up. But you could tell people who can sing, they use auto-tune, and people who can't sing, they use auto-tune once you learn how it works.
Yeah, he does a good balance. Well, his older music at least. I feel like it's a good balance.
T-Pain is dope. If it's one person I could sit and talk to, intern with, and just get knowledge from, T-Pain definitely be one of them. He'd definitely be top 2. Maybe him and Khaled.
He drops a lot of industry knowledge, like on his streams. I see.
Yeah,
See little tidbits.
he's definitely maybe number 1. I feel like Khaled probably would learn. You learn a lot from both, but I don't know. I just think T-Pain might be a little cooler though, because I feel like his recent struggles is what would make him probably more relatable, as opposed to Khaled he hasn't fell off. But I feel like T-Pain will probably give you a little bit more of the ins and outs, as DJ Khaled might give you a little bit more of like that glorified talk, like from the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I feel like T-Pain's more at the point in his career where he's like trying to give back to the music community. You know, because he's like, he always plays, like fan submissions. He'll do like basically contests where he'll just play a bunch of songs on stream and just give his commentary on it. Give advice about the industry, like I said. Just talk about his experiences. So I fuck with T-Pain.
As far as like music producers, I'll say beat makers. Who's your favorite one? Or top 2 or top 3?
J. Dilla and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I would have to say Madlib and Alchemist. They're always going to be my top producers.
My top probably are Nick Mira and
Wow.
Nick Mira and I don't know, for some reason I always like Cash Money AP. I've always liked Cash Money AP.
He did a dope track on IDK's album, Peloton. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That track is tough.
He's the one that the tag is like Cash Money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He does have some good songs.
So let me ask you this about Nick Mira. What makes Nick Mira one of your top producers?
Yeah, I want to know the same thing.
Nick Mira. I watch a lot of beatmaker tutorials, right? And for me, from where I'm sitting now, I don't know. I don't sit in Cash Money AP sessions. I don't sit in. I forgot who you said, and the two guys you named, I forgot who you said.
Dre and J Dillon. That's what I said.
All right, so I haven't watched any videos with them.
Yeah, sure.
But from what I see, I think Nick Mira. What separates him is that, again, I don't know those guys, but from what I see, I feel like Nick Mira is also a musician. I feel like being a musician and being a beat maker, I feel like there's advantages in being a musician and being a beat maker.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually see him play the guitar. I see him play his loops out sometimes. I mean, he pencils his notes in too sometimes too, but I see him actually do it. Whereas I see a lot of other people, when you watch it, it's like, it's nothing wrong with loops, but to actually see somebody, actually like play it out, I think it's different, especially with the guitar, because that's something that I would want to do. So that's why.
I can teach you. I know.
Yeah, that's something definitely that caught my eye. Definitely.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not knocking nobody, but from like what I've seen, like I've actually seen him do his live, on Twitch or on YouTube, where he actually plays it out, and then he does it, as opposed to like, he's going live today and he pulls a loop in and adds drums to it and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like Nick Mira.
I've been getting into playing more of my stuff recently too. I'll sit some days and just make instrumentals or compositions and not even worry about making a beat out of it, because I want to perfect the art
Yeah.
of actually creating a sample rather than just chopping up a loop or chopping up a sample off of a record, because
Agreed.
you can always do something with that, not even just making an instrumental out of it, but selling it for sing license, like I said earlier in the podcast, or making it for a movie that I may want to do, or for somebody else, or commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also want to become a better musician too. That's another reason, because I do play keys, play piano. I just want to improve the craft, and improve my ears, and also again playing guitar, drums, all that jazz too. So
that's good shit. I love like instruments, and I've recently started to incorporate them more into music I started to record. Like actually the bass, I was using that bass in there the other day. And I recently just bought a new guitar, but mostly because like I work at Guitar Center now. But that shit is fun, man. It's different. It definitely is different creatively, like to play an instrument and then be like, oh shit, hold on. Dude, like it's a lot better than just like tapping it in and being like, okay, I think this kind of sounds cool, and then just fuck around with that for 30 minutes. It's a lot more interactive, at least to me. At least I don't know.
It's, well, I mean, I guess depending on how you mix it and all the rest of it, but it's like more natural. It's almost like it has more soul to it when you actually play it out, as opposed to trial and error.
the groove,
Yeah,
and groove, get more than natural groove that is hard to undo because it's audio. You can fix a MIDI all day, but actually playing audio, it's a whole lot different, especially for guitar-based stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're hearing a real guitar versus a MIDI guitar.
yeah,
It's played differently.
yeah.
And most people may not even know how to use, especially early producers, don't even know how to draw in MIDI guitars like they're supposed to be played. I don't. I'm not even gonna lie. I try to, but
to make it sound like an actual guitar is
Right.
pretty fucking hard. That's true.
Yeah, all I got from it was like you're supposed to like strum it out and some other stuff to make it sound more like it's played. That's all I get from it. But
The only time I think it's kind of passable is if it's plucked. Like, you know, you get those guitar sounds that are
Staccato.
Yeah, but once it's like strumming, or like the sound is like strumming guitar, it just does not sound real. But yeah, I guess like it kind of connects to what we were talking about earlier. Where moving forward, I think people making music are wanting more authentic or like organic instruments, you know, in their mixes.
So Zaytoven or Metro Boom?
Metro.
Metro over Zay?
Hold on. Name some songs of both of them right quick.
From who?
Both of them. Both of them. Name some songs right quick.
Zaytoven
Name
is
some artists and songs.
My favorite Zaytoven beat, I probably would say, has got to be Future 31 Days.
Yeah, hold on.
That's probably my favorite Zaytoven beat. Another song, he did a lot of Gucci early, Gucci early beats.
I ain't listen to Gucci like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Metro, but I think he's a better musician than Metro though.
Layup or Peacoat off the Beast Mode. Those are probably my top. But then like Metro Boomin, he produced what was it, DS2?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it?
Oh, DS2
that was Dirty Sprite 2, and then What a Time to Be Alive. I know he did that whole album.
Metro, my favorite Metro beat probably is Metro. That's tough. One of them is probably got to be Digital Dash.
Oh God, I love that song.
Yeah, it's got to be Digital Dash.
That's like one of those, like, to me, it's like a perfect song for an intro. It was such a good album opener. Good album opener.
But yeah, man, we done pretty much a whole show. So who is Devin?
Man, I'm just a dude living in Raleigh, North Carolina, trying to make my way. You know, I fuck with music, definitely do.
What's your story?
Damn, that's a long one. But I've traveled across the country, and then I came back to the place I moved from. So I don't know what that says, but you know, I got lots of experiences, and I'm taking it back to where I grew up. So I think I'm in an interesting point in my life where a lot of things are tying back.
What is your brand?
What is my brand? I mean, like what I said at first, you know, like I fuck with music. I have no brand right now. I'm just existing. You know.
I had to pull that out of the closet. You know, we first walked in here. That's what Dre asked us. Like the first day, what is your brand?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I remember that. I was like, bro, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out who I am, like as a person. So like,
but real talk though, that is a very essential question, because the only reason I asked that when y'all walked in here, because we're in a whole different type of state in life right now.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like it is time to make a brand.
With social media and being in the music industry, you gotta have a brand. That's how people are gonna recognize you, and especially y'all don't post much. So how they gonna know you want to contact you for services?
That's true, man. I've been wanting to post on TikTok, but it's like there's some sort of like invisible wall in my mind that's just like I can't sit down and just post a TikTok and you know.
I'm gonna have to do a separate. I wasn't thinking about doing it for like a month now. Separate Instagram
for music.
Yeah. But
then you'd be starting from scratch, like all your followers.
That's fun.
Not necessarily, because I think the one that I have will actually be the one. The newer one will actually be like that personal one.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I feel like the connections I made on this one, I don't want to start over and try to reconnect. So I would leave that one as is. Because I do think I need to post more, whether it's music or just personal. I get that all the time. Like I think the last time I posted something before last week probably was November.
Okay. I post a lot on my story, but not really like as a post. I think I need to do more posts because stories are only available for a day.
I would say this for everybody who's kind of afraid to get on social media and be in the wormhole, so to speak. Just make an account you do test stuff on before you even go all the way in and make an account, a secret account, only you and whoever you want else to know about it,
Hashtag it.
and just post stuff. Just post whatever you want. And figure out what you're going to do as a social media person, as promoting your brand, making content, whatever. Make a little account. Try to have a little strategy behind it, or don't, whatever, just to get your feet wet and figure out what you're trying to do and how you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out. It's
Or
taking that first step, man.
Or even if you already have a brand, just have another account where you just put your throwaway stuff on, just to have all your other content out there besides what you mainly do. Because you never know what other ideas you can get from your throwaway content that enhance your main stuff. So I will say that.
Yes, sir.
So, Antwon, who are you? What's your brand, sir?
Oh,
My brand is to be determined. My brand is
my brand is bands.
I'm still finding my footing because I feel like right now I'm in a spot where it seems like life right now is just ever changing for me. So my brand, I do feel like it's to be determined, just because where I was 2 months ago, I don't feel like I'm there now, or I don't have the time or the availability. I may want to pursue something different. So I would hate to label something as something I offer that I don't have time for. But my brand, I answer that on the next podcast. My brand, I got you.
All right. Fair enough.
I guess we're all doing some brainstorming.
So, I guess I'll answer the question myself then, right? Who am I? My name is Dre, as far as y'all know for right now. I'm a multimedia creator. My goal is to create products that creatively express what my clients need to help achieve their goals. As far as outside of client work is for myself, I create things and projects that I want to impact the world in a way that I use to express myself that can reach as high as it possibly can. Not saying I have to go to the stratosphere, but as high as it's gonna go. And I put truth. You're gonna get the uncut truth from me when you ask me things, you hear my opinions, and you're going to have honesty, accountability for what I'm going to put out there. And am I perfect? No. Am I gonna try to be? Sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, but that's a little bit of a character flaw, I guess, if you look at it that way. But that's pretty much what I do. I create music, I write, make and edit videos, graphic design, post and create podcasts. If anybody needs help, they can hit me up. My information in the description. My information in the description. So will theirs be as well. And yeah, that's pretty much answers that question.
So as far as a hobby, what does a retro Dre do for fun?
Man. Wow, that's crazy. I was about to say, I don't do anything fun anymore. Nah, let's not say that. I guess I'll put it this way. Because my creativity comes in spurts. That I do what I enjoy to do is create music. Not being an artist per se, but as far as engineering goes, that's what I mainly do at the moment. As far as what I do for fun, listening to music. It used to be playing basketball. Is that no more? I guess that's more of a, I want to get my health right thing, working out, reading, playing piano, becoming a better musician, and writing. I'm starting to do writing. I'm starting to write a little bit more.
Like short stories?
Not just write. Whatever's on my mind, I just write it.
That's cool.
I just write it. When I get up in the morning, I have my little routine of I read, I write, play keys.
That's good. I think it's good to have a routine. I feel like that's how you can stay on track and be as productive as possible. I think you just have to find like the routine that works for you. Because I kind of do something similar. I mean, like, I always wake up in the morning, I drink a cup of coffee, And I mean, I don't read necessarily, so I guess I can't say I'm the healthiest. But I go to the gym. That's like pretty much almost an every morning type thing nowadays. So, and I don't know, that just helps start my day off right. So, fuck with that. It's good shit.
10-4.
All right, well, before we get all the way up out of here, we have an announcement coming up very soon about a little contest we're going to be doing involving hip hop. We've already addressed it, but we're going to officially announce that pool soon, very soon. We're going to officially announce our 64 pool of the greatest artists of all time, in our opinion, in a March Madness bracket. We are in March, so we're going to go with the theme of March Madness. And we're still figuring out the format of this. We're going to separate it by regions, or we're going to do it by who has the greatest album.
I think Regions is a good. I think Regions is a good way.
As
to
far
split
as,
it.
as far
And
as
if you
by-
think your favorite artist deserves a spot on that list, whoever he or she may be,
Leave that comment down below.
leave that comment down below.
yes, indeed.
Let us know.
But all right. If you're watching, listening, and hearing this, we appreciate you in the morning, noon, and night. We appreciate you. You know what to do if you're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. On all podcast platforms, subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating. Give us a review, a like. Have any discrepancies or things you want us more to talk about, please hit us up. We are not afraid to recontact you. Please. All feedback is appreciated. If you want to talk outside of your neck, we might get out the side of the neck with you. We don't know. All depends on how we feeling that day. But we appreciate you coming to the show. We appreciate you being on the show and listening to it. My name is Dre. This is Antwon. That's Devin, aka Deb Cooks.
1, 2, 3 way.
And we are out of here. We appreciate you. This is episode 30 of the 2.5 LLCs podcast. You dig?
Wow.
Look at the tip of the day. Be on time always.
Thanks.
If you late, if you're on time, you late.